Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and we have so much to talk about. But we're going to do this hopefully very systematically. We're gonna try our best, but we're gonna see. Okay, we're gonna see. Now, I want to give a huge shout out to, of course, the beautiful Cyberspace Maz, who has contacted me previously on this topic and also for this one to do a follow up, talking about the dark skin issues and INFOLD's basically statement that was released in kind of response to a article that was written by IGN. So this is something that is absolutely insane. Maz personally reached out to me twice about this topic, and I was like, oh my god. And I'm just like, it's absolutely insane because I totally get it. Maz is very, very pissed about everything that is happening. And she went and ranted in my DMs about it. And I'm like, I love this. This is amazing. And she also asked me to cover this topic. And she was like, you're the official, quote unquote, the official lads reporter. And I'm like, this is really funny. But we're gonna talk about this topic. We're gonna look at her basically her rant as well. We're gonna go through this because even though she's not active on Twitter, which I do not blame Maz, Twitter is a cesspool. She's actually active on Blue Sky. So if you guys have Blue Sky, go ahead and follow her over on there. But let's start from the very beginning and talk about what the article is, where it was posted, why this is an issue, and INFOLD's response to everything. Okay? So let's start from the very beginning. So many people were so happy that this was posted on their account, that IGN picked up the story, and that, there was a very reputable, very famous company that was basically paying attention to this issue that we're having in our game. IGN is incredibly popular. They also, I think they sponsor or host gaming conventions and all of these things. And over on Twitter, they have 10 million followers, where on their actual platform, they have over 400 million people following their platform. So it is really big news that a news corporation or news company that basically focuses on gaming is directed and focusing on this particular topic of Love in Deepspace. Okay, so let's talk about this. Love in Deepspace has been out for almost 2 years now, but its player base is growing increasingly exasperated over a persistent issue impacting players with dark-skinned custom main characters. Their characters are literally invisible. So, it's so crazy that they're using this screenshot, and I could see here Lala Fluff Bunny, Lala, guys, she literally commented on this, and it says it's very unnatural looking. Lighting options in Kindle's designed for the darker MC should be doable, and I looked into for player experience, given the option to have darker skin, which is great. So let it be great. So this is what Lala's looks like when she goes into the Kindled. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Raphael is kissing a shadow right now, and that is it's so bad. Where is her face? Where is her face? Even if I made this big, even if I zoomed in, you wouldn't be able to see anything. And then you have it here also in Zane's story, where is Lala's face? Where is the MC's face in here? None. It doesn't matter which love interest. It doesn't matter what, what's that called? It doesn't matter what outfit they're wearing or anything like that. It literally has to do with the kindled moments and the lighting in those stories. So let's go ahead and look at IGN here. So IGN has the 10.2 million followers. Again, very massive news outlet for different kinds of games, which is why it's so crazy that they picked up Love in Deepspace, because they would cover Xbox games, AAA games, they would cover everything under the sun, and then they talked about Love in Deepspace, and I'm just like, that's crazy. So you have this amazing news outlet talking about this. So this is them. They have over 400 million users, and then they are in 110 countries, and they speak, well, you know, they cover over 20 languages, and they also have 37 different platforms to basically share the news and whatnot to connect everybody in the gaming community. Now let's read the article that is posted for this. This is a little bit lengthy, so everybody strap in, pause the video here, grab a little snack, grab a little drink. I have my own water here, so if I do take a sip, you will hear everything. Alright, so Love and Deepspace devs respond to player complaints that their dark-skinned custom characters are invisible in cutscenes. The problem has existed since the game came out. Again, they already reiterated this, but the game was released in 2024? So we're nearing 2 years now, since it has been a year and more than a half. And once we hit 26, that'll be the second anniversary. So let's start. Love and Deepspace has been out for almost 2 years now, but its player base is growing increasingly exasperated over the persistent issue impacting players with dark-skinned custom main characters. Their characters are literally invisible. If you're unfamiliar with Love and Deepspace, it's an otome game developed by Chinese studio Paper Games and published globally by Infinity Neki developer INFOLD Games. Love and Deepspace is unique in that it's a 3D otome game with action RPG elements where characters can build relationships with 5 different potential love interests while also fighting off space monsters. But the romantic elements are the big draw, with visual novel segments and highly detailed fully animated cutscenes between the player, character, or MC and their love interests presented as gameplay rewards. Love and Deepspace has now been out since January 2024, almost 2 years. It's been wildly successful during the time, too, with over 50 million players worldwide as of 2025. It won Best Mobile Game at Gamescom this year and has been praised for its positive tone toward women and their needs in relationships. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. Considering the fact that just a few years ago, INFOLD was caught red-handed, basically in an interview that was publicized, saying that women are basically just their cash cows, the way that they presented themselves in the advertisement for a different a mobile game that they had, and it was just absolutely, it's kind of crazy how their tone towards women has changed. Very crazy. I feel like they definitely had a lot of publicity lessons in terms of how to deal with, you know, the player base and whatnot, what is the best way of portraying them and all of those different things to appeal to the masses, is my personal opinion. Okay, continuing on. Admittedly, Love and Deepspace isn't exactly a pioneer in the diversity front. There's only one body type available for MC, and all the available love interests are light-skinned, but there are a variety of customization options for the MC's looks, including multiple darker skin tones. It's a feature which hasn't historically been common common one in otome games, and which has helped players with darker skin create MCs that feel they represent them in the romantic scenarios the game presents. But ever since its release, players have been reporting issues with the game's lighting, causing MCs with darker skin tones to look weirdly shadowed or occasionally become totally invisible during certain cutscenes. The complaints go back to the launch of the game and are still being posted as recently as this week, and they all look something like this. So here we have this one also. These are actually all examples that I've seen. Like, personally, just scrolling through this is actually insane. Okay, that's pretty bad. The issue isn't consistent across every cutscene and varies depending on skin tone, but the common factor is that players whose MCs have darker skin tones never know when the new update is released if their characters will be visible in the cutscenes or not. Players experiencing this issue say they've reported it to INFOLD many times, and recently IGN received a small flood of submissions to its tips email aliases from players upset about the issue. That is so interesting. I didn't know people actually complained to IGN. You know what? It makes sense. It makes sense, so that way people would pick up the topic and it would be more talked about and whatnot, and people would actually pay attention to this issue. Until now, INFOLD hasn't said anything about the issue at all, but when IGN reached out for their comment, INFOLD provided the following statement. They reached out. They reached out. Okay. At INFOLD Games, we've always believed that our games are shaped together with the players who love them. The community's feedback, discussions, and creative passion are what keep Love and Deepspace evolving and alive. We've seen the conversations and truly value everyone who has taken the time to share their experiences and thoughts. Every comment, whether it's about visuals, storytelling, or representation, helps us better understand how our work resonates across different perspectives and cultures. Love and Deepspace is at heart a shared world of emotion and imagination. We hope to keep building it hand in hand with our players, learning and improving together. Okay, hold on. Wait. This is the statement? This statement is so... It's so... It's such a bad statement. Because it doesn't address the issue. It doesn't address the issue at all. And it's kind of... I can understand why people are pissed. I mean, look at this. At INFOLD Games, we've always believed that our games are shaped together with players who love them. Okay, but the players who love them, there are a lot of them who have darker skin tones, and you're still not addressing that. The community's feedback, discussions, and creative passions are what keep Love and Deepspace evolving and alive. Are you taking into consideration the feedback that you've had for literally almost a year and more than a year and a half? The feedback that we've been asking for, either better grinding system, this simple issue of the lighting in the game, and getting rid of the limited wishes also. Every comment, whether it's about visuals, storytelling, or representation, helps us better understand how our work resonates across different perspectives and cultures. Well, yeah, you're making a very specific, player very upset. And they're paying customers too. Like, it's absolutely insane that this isn't something that they're gonna jump on and try to fix right away. Anyway, continuing on, Love and Deepspace players are understandably frustrated by this issue. After all, the game has explicitly been promoted by the company for its extremely in-depth technical achievements in getting every detail of the characters to feel real. Hair, skin, clothing, everything. Isn't it, there's also like this whole article or something where they're like, oh, we use like these many cameras to get this perfect imaging of all of the mocap and all those things. It's crazy. It would be one thing if this was a one-time issue with one card that was quickly fixed, but after 2 years and absolutely no acknowledgement, there has been absolutely no acknowledgement, players with darker skin are linking the problem to long-time issues in the game with racism and colorism. Of course, it's the only logical conclusion to make. If the company had not said anything, if the company doesn't say anything to address the issue and try to make changes in the upcoming cards, then of course people are going to assume that it's a racist, it's either racism or colorism. Even if it's not intentionally malicious, they say, it all goes back to developers prioritizing making sure white skin tones look good, and only throwing in darker skin tones as an afterthought without taking care to make sure they look just as nice. Yeah, I do feel like because they're not taking care of how the darker skin tones look in the game, it really was like INFOLD being like, oh yeah, let's make the MC customizable. Okay, yeah, you can add those darker skin tones. It's like, whatever. It's like they almost didn't think that they were going to be that popular with people who had darker skin tones. You know what I'm saying? As one player, Star Pop, put it eloquently in Twitter back in May, in history, dating games have been set where it was just a fair pale MC and black-brown players don't invest in playing the game because they don't see themselves. For us, we are seeing someone else or pretending to be someone we're not. Because of racism and colorism, pale skin meant beauty, as dark tones meant dirty, disgusting, unlovable, just because they don't fit the beauty standard. With dating games, that doesn't suggest skin tone variation. It's another way of telling us that we aren't worthy of love nor attention. For games that's supposedly to represent you falling in love and being treated fairly because the love interests love you for who you are, it excluded many potential players due to it. When Love and Deepspace came out, black-brown players got into it, and it felt like heaven that the MC's skin tone can change. Guys, can this go into like the whole like argument and the whole lawsuit about false advertising? Not properly lighting us basically tells us black-brown players that they don't care enough to consistently and properly light us up, wrote Starpup later in the thread. Just doing lighting on the default MC when you implemented different tones doesn't work because not everyone has the same skin tone. Starpop's thread is just one person experience, but it reflects dozens of other comments from non-white players and content creators that have popped up across social media on Twitter, Reddit, Discord, YouTube, TikTok, and other platforms over the last 2 years. Unfortunately, many of the comments recently have begun despairing of there ever being despairing. Sorry. Recently have begun despairing of there ever being a fix to this issue. Though the community is still encouraging players to report the issue to INFOLD during player surveys, it's without any real hope of change. I almost made a post about this, but realized it wasn't worth getting my or anyone else's hopes up. I wrote one Reddit user in the reply to another post on the subject from 3 days ago. Not saying people should give up by campaigning that they fix it, not even make dark-skinned MC look perfect, just visible. But with the complexity of the lighting and the fact that they couldn't even bother to change the shading on the injuries in Edge of Continuum, my MC's scratches look like she tried to apply the wrong foundation. There are only like 5 skin colors, bro, come on. I'm resigning myself to having to submit another bug report that my MC looks like a shadow person and just enjoy the card as much as I can. And if by some miracle they actually address it and it looks decent, I will give INFOLD every last drop in my arsenal. All the props straight to their inbox. Wow. Well, this is written and I don't know, guys. It's very upsetting. How many comments are there? 8 comments. Almost 2 years without this getting fixed is pretty unforgivable. Surely it can be complicated of an issue. It surely can't be that complicated of an issue to solve, right? They get more sales if they fix it. Look at Animal Crossing, the first game to let characters change their skin colors and hair texture as New Horizons. And it's the highest selling game in the series. It did happen to come out at a perfect time, but in-depth character creation helped. Asia has always had a turbulent history with a representation of color in media. 100%. I mean, look at Genshin Impact. When there's a character who is just slightly darker, the CN community kind of goes nuts. There is only one reason this hasn't been fixed yet. I wouldn't be surprised if this is not a deliberate action by the company. Oh my god. Who cares? It's a custom character and there's a reason it's blacked out, most likely an expensive one. Pretty sure you would care if your custom character was literally invisible in every cutscene. Lol, they're just trying to accurately convey the black experience. Welcome to my life. Whoa, okay? If only they were invisible in real life. Oh my god, who are you? Racist. But yeah, this is crazy. Alright, so this is the article, right? Now, there are a lot of people talking about the response that INFOLD had given in this article, the comment that IGN had reached out and asked for, and that, you know, it's crazy that that's the only time that INFOLD is going to comment about the situation is if there's a major platform that is reaching out to them to talk about the issues in the game. So we have here Suzu, or Pink Crisps. Such a vague response. They're not even telling us if if they want to fix it or not. This is some robot template non-answer. Our dark-skinned MCs need some more transparency about this, especially when they already showed us technology and presented it. Put this in your survey. So, believe their games are sure. Oh, this is their reply in the article. IGN reached out to INFOLD over the lighting issue, but this is all the stupid company had to say. Spewed some BS about their work, resonating with different perspectives and cultures, but didn't even acknowledge the topic at hand. What a joke. It was a very, very political answer, like politician answer, you know. They're not saying yes, they're not saying no, they're not even acknowledging the issue. They're just talking about the general idea of what Love in Deepspace is supposed to do. Like, oh yeah, we care about everybody, and we think that everybody's opinions matter, and that's pretty much it. Like, anybody who is, I guess, inexperienced in reading this kind of jargon is going to think that, oh yeah, INFOLD does care about their player's experience, therefore falsely believing that INFOLD cares about the darker skin tone issue, which is, you know, an experience that darker skin tone lovelies have been dealing with for the past, like, how long? And then we have here, Hex also, let it be known IGN reached out to INFOLD to comment for this, is all the company had to say, not even addressing the topic in an article. I hope his company rots. Really funny. And then we also have this. There are people who are commenting on the IGN post here in the comment section that have been incredibly racist, which is actually very, well, is it shocking? I'm actually not shocked, because there are some really dreadful people out there, but it is very disgusting and very sad to see. So we have here Rue, who basically took a screenshot of this, and this is why, as a person who is from West Africa, this really hits me in the guts, all because we want to see our MCs just like the rest. This person here says, well, maybe don't make your characters the darkest shade of black. Even in real life, very black people look nearly invisible in the dark. I should know, I live in Africa. I often see floating eyes and teeth in the dark. How are devs supposed to fix that? Well, anyway, and then there's this person also. They added your skin tone to the game because they know how self-centered you are, and it was an easy way to get you into the game and spending money. If they truly cared, where are the black love interests? Yeah. I beg your pardon, the word I want to say to you right now, I don't because I'm holding myself back, but go F yourself and your effed up mindset. I agree. And now, this is actually the most shocking thing because I tested this out myself. So, you know the official subreddit, right? So we have the official subreddit for Love in Deepspace. The beautiful, very heavily moderated subreddit for Love in Deepspace. Yeah, if anybody tries to even talk about the article, to even reference the article, they are taken down. So here, they're actively shutting it down, shutting shiz down. Oh wow. This was posted earlier. It's pretty disappointing to see the issue with the lighting being brushed up as unnecessary controversy. What's so controversial about having a darker skin tone? I spent a lot of time making my character. I want to be able to see her just like everyone else, but I literally can't. I think all players deserve a fair experience. Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of Love in Deepspace. Unfortunately, we'll need to decline this post at this time regarding the caption. While we do encourage opinions of all kinds, this specific topic can unfortunately stir controversy and drama. Drama for who? The company? Because they're not fixing anything? We hope you understand. We are reviewing users' comments, staff is aware, and we send feedback to them regarding this specific topic. I posted the IGN articles in the official subreddit multiple times, but they removed all. They are trying to silence us, what they mean with unnecessary controversy and drama. Unfortunately, we'll need to decline this post at this time. We do encourage blah 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 specific for unnecessary controversy and drama. Hope you understand. Now, what? They are so effing snaky. It's very Very upsetting, very upsetting. So I saw this. I saw that they were taking down the article on the official subreddit. And you know what I did? I went over to the official subreddit and decided to post the same exact article. But instead of posting like the article itself, a link to the article, or what do you call that? Any keywords that were talking about dark skin issues or anything like that. I didn't use any keywords, guys. I promise you. I tried to keep it as vague as possible. I took the screenshot, I posted it under spoiler, so that way nobody can see what it is directly, and they took it down. So this is my Reddit account, and you can see here, sorry, there's a train. There's a train passing, if you can hear that. So here, let's see. We have here me posting it. This is the screenshot that I had posted. It's a screenshot of the article itself. This one. I took a screenshot of this, posted it blurred so that way people wouldn't see what it was unless they clicked on it. And what's that called? They took it down. Unfortunately, we'll need to declare this post at the time. We do encourage opinions of all kinds, and a specific topic unfortunately stir unnecessary controversy. Now, I was like, okay. So they really are taking it down. I had actually one person comment on it, which is so funny. Look at this. Look at this one person who commented. Gacha Goblin from the Bird app. Hope you don't go around spreading misinformation like you do there. This community is chill and people blah 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 blah. Well, your comment is gone. You dapper relative 3192. Thank you for commenting on here, and now I can show everybody who you are. I was just trying to share the article. I don't think that this article person is, misinformation. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, continuing on, let's go ahead and read Maz's rant over on Blue Sky. So IGN reported, let me see if I can zoom in. Okay. So IGN reported on the dark skin issues, and this was the response. This means nothing. This isn't communication. This is lazy PR at best. I agree 100%. This is nothing. Address the actual issue or say nothing at all. Exactly. And then she goes here. They won't name or acknowledge it because it means admitting they put out an unfinished product and then also refuse to communicate on it. We're not devs, we're players, and we need to understand why this is so hard for them to fix after almost 2 years. Just communicate with us. I just saw on Twitter that someone AI checked it. At INFOLD Games, they AI checked it. It's 90% AI generated text. The reply that they gave to IGN was 90% AI generated text and 10% written by a human. Take AI detectors with a pinch of salt. A lot of them have been proven to be inaccurate and misleading. And then Becca here says, true dat. I read this article early today and I'm honestly so annoyed. They really said a whole bunch of nothing, no acknowledgement, not even an apology. Why are they playing dumb? Well, they're not playing dumb because they're not going to fix it. Is probably what I'm leaning towards, which is so sad, which is so unfortunate. But, maybe that's why the revenue is dropping. Has anyone noticed that the revenue of this game is dropping? Anyway, we'll talk about that in a different video. But, yeah, a lot of shenanigans are happening, guys. A lot of shenanigans are happening. But this was the whole IGN situation. It is very disappointing that not only INFOLD refuses to communicate with its players and only communicates with big news outlets like IGN or big game reporting outlets like IGN. And the way that they reply back is in an incredibly heavily PR acceptable reply that doesn't actually address the issue. It's very disheartening for a lot of the player base, and it is honestly very frustrating. I do not blame people if they want to leave the game. I can't blame them because the company is absolutely ass. But yeah. Anyway, leave your comments down below. I know this one was a long one. Hopefully you guys did take my advice and pause the video when I said pause to grab a snack. But yeah, that is pretty much it. And leave your comments down below. I want to hear what you guys are talking about. I want to hear what you guys think about this whole situation. And go follow Cyberspace Maz on Blue Sky, and go follow Lala Fluff Bunny on Twitter. And subscribe to their channels. Alrighty, well, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like down below if you like this video, and of course hit that subscribe button if you would like to stay up to date with all of the Love and Deep Space news from your quote-unquote official lads news reporter. Maz is funny. Anyway, bye guys, I'll see you in the next one.